This is Ari from Wirefly.com. Here with your Wirefly.com cell phone schmackdown between the HTC EVO 4G, which is an Android-powered phone, complete with HTC's Sense user interface, and the new Apple iPhone 4 with Apple's iOS 4. And if you're wondering, yes, it is Wirefly cell phone schmackdown, not smackdown. For one, tried to be a little bit unique, but more importantly, for two, our lawyers told us to do it. So we're doing what our lawyers tell us to do. And also, if you're going to call somebody out for being grammatically incorrect, you should probably try to spell grammatically correctly yourself. But enough of me talking schmack. Let's get to our Wirefly cell phone schmackdown. And you can see that our EVO right here is struggling through battery. It didn't get plugged in last night. And one of the major differences between the iPhone 4 and the HTC EVO 4G is going to come down to battery life. The HTC EVO 4G, particularly if it's connected to a 4G network, does struggle with battery life. But other than that, it is an amazing cell phone, as is the Apple iPhone 4. And although many of you probably already know many of the tech specs, we're going to run through them quickly because, after all, that's what makes a phone. So, of course, the biggest difference here that you can see for yourself right off the bat is size. The HTC EVO 4G is a monster of a smartphone, and a monster of a smartphone being a good thing. You can see that it is certainly a thicker phone than the Apple iPhone 4, and also wider and taller, but it is still pocketable. And that size is going to be because it does have a giant 4.3-inch display, capacitive touch, and it is 480 by 800 pixels. And by the same token, the Apple iPhone has a smaller but very nice 3.5-inch display, and it's what Apple is calling a Retina display, but it is because it is so high resolution, and it's a whopping 960 by 640 pixels. Another major difference between these two phones is, of course, HTC EVO 4G. 4G meaning that it can operate on Sprint's 4G network in cities where 4G is available, of course. And the Apple iPhone is restricted to AT&T's 3G network. Still a very fast network when you have good service. And we'll do a quick hardware comparison here. There's your standard Android layout of touch-sensitive buttons. So you have your home button, menu button, back button, and your search button. And on top of the EVO 4G, you have a standard size 3.5mm headphone jack and your power button. And on the right, volume controls. And on the bottom, you have a micro HDMI out port, so you can connect the EVO 4G to your HD TV and basically see whatever is on the screen. So that, of course, includes movie watching. Then a micro USB port. And no micro HDMI out port on the iPhone 4. So certainly a consideration right there. When we flip both these guys to the back, the iPhone 4 has a 5 megapixel camera with LED flash and tap to focus, while the HTC EVO 4G has an 8 megapixel camera, also with autofocus and a dual LED flash. So that flash on the HTC EVO is going to be a bit brighter than on the iPhone 4. And both these phones can record very impressive video at 720p, so HD quality. And that extra few megapixels on the EVO 4G is going to make a huge difference as far as photo quality goes, unless you're really planning on printing the pictures. And you'll notice that kickstand. See if we can make it through this. We might have to pause to get the EVO charged up a little bit. The iPhone 4 is running a little bit low on battery power as well. But a kickstand, which makes it great for watching movies as well. A gorgeous display. We flip them both back over. Both phones do have a front-facing camera right there on the EVO 4G and there on the iPhone 4. And that front-facing camera will allow for video chat. And that video chat with the EVO 4G is going to be performed by the Quick application, while on the iPhone 4 you have something called FaceTime, which you connect to when you're in a call with another iPhone 4 owner. And right now you can only So we're almost out of battery on that iPhone 4 too. It's a race to the finish line there. But you can only connect to another iPhone 4 owner at this time through video chat, although I'm sure that'll change pretty soon. Alright, took a quick break to plug both the phones in to give them a little bit of added juice. But on the Apple iPhone 4, you either get 16 gigs of onboard memory or 32 gigs of onboard memory, depending on the model of iPhone that you pick up. And the 16 gig is going to run you $199.99, while the 32 gig is going to run you $299.99, and both those prices on contract, of course. The HTC EVO 4G right now is $189.99 on wirefly.com, and comes with 8 gigs of onboard memory thanks to a micro SD card, and also has 1 gig of pre-installed onboard memory as well. And the many differences between the Android operating system and the Apple iPhone iOS 4 operating system are going to be somewhat beyond the scope of this comparison, but a quick rundown of both is certainly in order. And one of the biggest differences is going to be widgets. So you do have 7 home screens that you can customize with many widgets, many pre-installed and many downloadable from the Android market. And you can see that I can pinch to pull up a heads-up display of all of the home screens and then tap to jump to that home screen quickly. And with HTC Sense, you get a number of beautiful widgets already available. So we'll do our long tap and take a quick look. So you have all of the standard Android widgets already pre-installed, and then a bunch of HTC widgets. So you have a very nice news widget. You got the stock widget. You can see a Twitter widget there. But many widgets, and we do have a video on Wirefly where we do go through all the widgets on the Droid Incredible, so check that out. The widgets are much the same on the HTC EVO 4G as on the Droid Incredible. And also another major difference between the two operating systems is how multitasking is handled. And multitasking is of course new with Apple iPhone OS 4, but been standard forever on the Android platform. And multitasking is handled, make sure that doesn't slide, thanks to that drop-down menu, and as well as notifications. So you can see a new mail notification updates for a application we have installed. Then we can tap to clear those notifications. Try to hold that, hard to operate behind a camera. And then you have all of your applications in this app tray. So if we're playing music, for example, as far as multitasking goes, hit up Marisa Christina, whoever that is. She comes pre-installed on the phone. You can continue to jump around. And then use our drop-down menu to get back to the music player. And pause Marisa. And on the Apple iOS 4, multitasking is achieved with a double tap. So you can see all of your open applications at the bottom, and 4 per screen. And if you swipe left, you have your music widget control. And also with Pandora, you'll have a Pandora control there too. So if you want to jump between applications, you double tap. And if you want to close an application, double tap again. Hold down and tap that to close it. So tap that minus sign. Open up our internet browsers and check out our on-screen QWERTY keyboards. Both phones do have great QWERTY keyboards on screen and can of course be used in portrait mode or landscape. Do that onboard accelerometer at the same time. And with the EVO 4G, you do get a haptic feedback, so if you do want to feel like you're pressing a button, the EVO 4G may be a better choice, but very responsive and quick to change keyboards on both phones, so fast accelerometers. And we'll do a browser speed test. Pause and hit up the Wi-Fi network, the same Wi-Fi network, and we'll be right back. Alright, I've connected the same Wi-Fi network on both the EVO and the iPhone 4. And just looking at them up close, you can see what a big difference that screen size makes, particularly when you're web browsing. We'll zoom into our flash banner here. And it's certainly worth noting that the HTC EVO 4G supports flash, while the iPhone 4 does not support flash. So there is our Verizon wireless waved activation promotion in flash glory. And there it is on the iPhone 4. So we'll pick a phone. I have cleared the cache on both phones. The Apple iPhone has Apple's A4 chip, and they haven't really given out specifics on the processor, but it is around 1 gigahertz. And the HTC EVO 4G is running a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. So we'll get that Shot Now button nice and close up and see which phone comes out on top as far as loading up the next page. Alright, 1, 2, 3. So split second delay on accepting that tap on the HTC EVO 4G. The EVO 4G is done, and very shortly followed thereafter by the iPhone 4. So they are, in most of our tests, pretty on par with one another, although the EVO 4G usually takes the upper leg by a second or a split second. But there you have it, a quick comparison between the Apple iPhone 4 and the HTC EVO 4G. I'm Ari from wirefly.com. Hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.